Buenasera and good evening. Welcome to Orlok Press Castle for an evening of scary questions and even scarier answers. Just a lonely podcaster, a sickly podcaster from the village around Orlok Castle. We are so excited to have an audience with the geniuses Matt Wagner and Kelley Jones. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's begin. There's a storm. Let us join the production already in progress.
In this kind of venue is kind of amazing.
Cool.
Um, and the work here is fantastic that you've done on this adaptation of Dracula, and it's just like all these great gothic projects coming around at the same time with Nosferatu. And then last night I drove a 2 hour round trip to see Frankenstein. Um, and it was amazing. I know all the work you've done with Guy Davis, Matt, and to know that he had a part of that was amazing. And then of course the call out and the homage to Bernie
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just primo. It's
I neither of
amazing.
us have seen it yet, but very anxious to. So
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Like
I
the
would have
visuals.
expected nothing less, truthfully. Yeah.
Yeah. The like take Crimson Peak, the visuals at Crimson Peak times 1,000,
Yeah.
and just more love in every frame.
Yeah,
Yes.
right on.
And so yeah, so that was great. Um, so when you started with Dracula and vampire being very much in the air, when did you guys first decide this was? I mean, it's always been in both of your wheelhouses very much to do a take on Dracula, based on all of your past work. But when did you decide now is the time?
Very specifically for me, I had been brewing on this for over a decade. I had been trying to figure out a way to do something with Dracula, and I didn't want to. I wanted to. I wanted to hew close to the canon, to the not do something to change things or to take him into outer space or any sort of crazy shit like that. I wanted to stick with what makes Dracula special and what appealed to me about Dracula. And Kelley and I have known each other for decades, and we had always been kind of threatening to work together. And
Threatening. Yeah.
but we both knew we wanted it to be something significant, not just a one off. And I think we both were feeling. We definitely didn't want it to be for a mainstream company. We didn't want to do a Batman project. We didn't want to do some work for hire bullshit, you know. So Kelley had kind of hit me up online with that saying, just a comment on something I had posted. We got to do something together someday. And I called him and said, "Dude, are you serious? Because I think I actually have the idea for us." And Kelley, you can take it from there.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be Batman. So, because I had no idea what he had in mind, and so when he said Dracula, he also said, "Now don't worry, because Dracula. Everyone's done Dracula. Something." He says, "But I'm not going to do it. But I am going to stay in canon," and that was interesting. And then over the next 4 or 5 minutes, he told me what he wanted to do, and I said, and I had just
helping people keep more money in their wallet.
Guys, be sure to mute yourself there if you're not on audio, please. Shoot, sorry, I muted. In my muting frenzy, I muted Kelley and
Muted everybody.
Yep, sorry. Kelley, you're
Kelley,
still muted if you can.
I'm
There you
unmuted.
Sorry about that.
All right, it's okay.
So yeah, I gave him just a very brief preliminary outline of what I had in mind for all four of our first planned books. You know, it initially was four. Now we're very open to, if we get more ideas, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
But I had a basic outline for these 4 volumes, and yeah, it didn't take long. Kel was like, "Oh shit, I'm in."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yep.
But I prefaced it by saying, look, this is going to be a big thing. This is going to take us 5 years, 6 years, maybe more, you know.
Yeah, and it took him a while to get the script to me, because then he had to go and do all the research. So he told me this, and he says, just hang on, I've got to put everything together and get the first script out. And when he did, I mean, the good thing Matt did was he didn't tell me every step of the way what he was doing. He just said, you're going to really like this, or I came up with a good scene, or something like that. But I want you to read it and then tell me what you honestly think. And so when he sent it, I don't like reading things off the computer. So I had it printed up, and I went in the backyard and read it. And after I finished, I read it again. It was that good. And it's one of those where I I I had high expectations, but they more than exceeded. I didn't expect anything like that. It was completely different, yet it felt so authentically Dracula. And
And that was a challenge in that first book
it
because
sure
again, he
was.
doesn't become a vampire till the end.
No, he
But
doesn't.
we had to make it that he was still the same guy, you know. I
Right.
mean, I keep saying he didn't change that much from becoming a vampire,
No,
you
but
know.
what you want, what Matt did is what he did in the script was all the things that hit me, and all the things that really um affected me, did the same thing when after it came out in the book. People reading it would say the exact same things. So I knew at that point, you know, when I read it, I knew it was good. But it was so gratifying to hear people say those same moments, those same things affected them. And again, it had what a lot of books don't have. Not just a terrific series of events, but an arc to it. So it from where it started and where it ended meant something. It wasn't just slapdash. It really did. You felt like you saw the first film of something. It's self-contained, but it let itself no uh, loose ends,
And led us into book 2.
and it led us into book two. So when you get to book two, as is now, people are saying it does this thing now. Obviously this one ends with, we all know where it's going to go, so you have to acknowledge it. But again, it tells a very tight, complete story, and it builds upon who he is. So when he goes to London as the Count, we now know the character that we know how he got there, we know why he is. Absolutely brilliant.
And you know, part of it was trying to fill in the various things that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
One thing being, why is he called Count Dracula?
Yeah.
You know, when he was alive, he was what's known as a voivode. It's a Romanian term for basically a war prince, a warlord. Well, who would dub him Count Dracula if he became a vampire? You know, what it would have to be a king or somebody of that regal quality to give him this title. Well, if he's a vampire, they're not going to do that. So I came up with a reason. He basically just assumes the identity to enhance his status when he goes to England. Because truthfully, the term count is more of a Western European term than an Eastern European term.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and what's so great about what Bram Stoker did in making it epistolary, or however you say that,
Epistolary.
letters,
Yep.
Apostolary.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Epistolary. Sorry, I was putting a no in there. Yeah.
epistolary is because it's letters, and so specifically into these individuals' points of view, and none of them Dracula's, that all these later people could take that material
Mm-hmm.
and fill in their gaps and stay completely canon to the story,
Yep.
and play in that playground in such a wonderful way. It's
Yeah.
and it
Yeah. It
and
is.
you guys have
It
done it.
is not the first
Many people have
example.
done it, but you guys are really hitting it out of the park.
It's not the first example of an epistolary novel, but it's considered one of the earliest and strongest versions of an epistolary novel. Of course, you know that's been done many times since, but
Right.
a pretty bold choice for Stoker to go with. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think any of his other novels. Of course, most he wrote what I don't know 8 or 9 novels. None of them are noteworthy except for Dracula. And I don't think any of the others are
I've been
epistolary.
listening to Lair of the White Worm, and it's just all his other stuff is very different.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like,
it's just kind of bland pulp stuff, you know. It's
yeah,
not. He just struck. I mean, for finding the connection to these Romanian legends, you know, there's I forget the name of the book, but there's a specific book by a woman about Transylvanian folklore that he had access to, and then once he discovered the name Dracula from historical records, you know, it just all clicked in. It was a perfect storm of making this this classic novel that was kind of beyond the truthfully beyond the abilities of its author. You know, it was just a magical occurrence, you know.
And something as offhand as putting in like the recipe for chicken paprikash.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
would do that? But it added such a, I mean, it made you feel like he was in a Harker's journey was real, and
Yeah,
that it
it's one
made,
of you mentioned Nosferatu, the Robert Eggers version of
yeah,
you know, in when a contemporary audience reads, "Oh, this guy from London went to Transylvania," we don't think much of it
yeah,
because worldwide travels, global travels, a very ubiquitous thing at this point. It wasn't at that point,
no,
and you know, in that film version, it's one of the best things about it is the scene where Harker, you know, finds himself in the Carpathian Highlands and the just utterly different and absolutely alien sort of environment he finds himself in. Well, conversely, here in book 3, the Count, we take that approach with Dracula because Dracula all of a sudden finds himself in one of the largest and most contemporary metropolises on Earth at that point, after spending 400 years in this backwards, rustic, isolated section of the Earth. You know, so
yes,
we very much show him exploring London and figuring out how he's going to exploit this world. We know from the novel that he's done a ton of research. Harker talks about his library, the things he sees laying out, and yeah. At one point, he realizes Dracula's studying train schedules. You know, I mean, he is really researching the environment he's going to thrust himself into. But that said, it is still not what he's used to. So we show him exploring that world, you know.
totally look forward to it, and it's just been a joy
Thanks, man.
thus
Thanks.
far.
thank
Yep.
you, thank
And
you.
before they kick me out and I move on to someone else, I just got to take this opportunity. I owe Kelley a bit of an apology
Oh God,
on behalf of my older brother.
Oh,
You will be horrified and maybe amused to know there is a 61-year-old guy running around with the complete first Sandman poster, that commercial poster you did,
yes, yep, yeah.
um, tattooed on his back.
Wow.
But here's the apology part. He had no knowledge whatsoever of the source material, saw it on my wall, loved it, apparently took a picture of it, had a tattoo artist do a wonderful rendition of it, and made death topless.
That's okay.
Wow. Wow.
That's okay. I
I
actually that's probably a decision I should have made.
exactly. It would have fit, you know. Hey,
Well,
For go ahead, Kel. Sorry.
she's a small-breasted girl, though, right?
not on his back.
Not on the okay,
Not at
okay.
all on his. We're just like, who's the
Like
lady?
Frazetta did it.
Lady Death, or
Yeah.
the one?
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I just to know that's wandering out in the world
All right,
somewhere.
that's more than okay.
Well, thanks, man. We should move on to
All
some
right.
other people.
Thank
But thanks
you.
so much for your questions and coming on.
That's good. Thank you.
thanks so much, man. I kept thinking about when I was reading Voivodes, or I was like, is that Richard Hell in the Voivodes? And I was like, no, that's
No, that's the
Voidoids. Got it. Right. There's a little scuttlebutt in the chat when you were talking about is it gonna end at 4 books? Could it go on to 5? Like
We don't
you had
know yet.
mentioned.
At this
Okay,
point,
yeah.
everything for us is story.
Yeah.
If there's a story there to be told, we will do it. And at this point, I had an idea for 4, but you know, vampires live forever. So, you
Yeah.
know, maybe
So then,
if a good idea comes, we're definitely open to doing more.
Yeah.
all right. So and if vampires live forever, then you can't not talk about Dracula in space. That could actually happen.
Could. Yeah.
All right, Adrian, you're up, man. Welcome.
Thanks. Hey guys.
Hey, Adrian.
So the Kickstarter experiment seems to be quite successful. Are you going to use this for releasing other works as well?
Well, I don't know that we have talked about Orlock Press being more than just us. So maybe taking on some other projects and publishing them under the Orlock banner, and in that case, we would probably do them as Kickstarters. I don't know that I need that to be every project that I do,
Mhm.
but I think it will probably be every project Orlock Press does. Don't you think, Cal?
I do. I mean, I think, for example, I have always been encouraging Matt, if he can find an artist and a story he wants to do, go find him and do it. I think the level of quality from what we've just the physical quality has been good, and as long as he finds an artist who can be on time, do it.
Yeah, that's a big key. You know,
Yeah.
we going it. This is obviously the first Kickstarter experience for the both of us, and both of us have many colleagues and dear friends we know that have tried Kickstarter and gotten in big publishing trouble because they launch something, it earns them a lot of money, and then they can't seem to get it wrapped up and finished and published and into their buyers' hands. We determined from the very beginning that ain't gonna be us. We're gonna make sure we're gonna be like a machine, and part of that stems from the vast years of experience we have between the two of us. We're used to being on time. We're used to hitting our deadlines. We're
Yeah,
used to.
I'm all for us publishing stuff, and certainly it didn't have to be drawn by me. But I do think that that would be my main criteria.
Yeah, we
Gotta
need
be
to
on
we
time.
need to maintain that
If
that
it's on
cred.
time, I'm all for it.
Yep. Yep.
If and going from that point of view, uh, I think because I think what we can do through Orlock is fit a niche no one else is doing right now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I
and
see
and
it doing.
and I will say it's probably horror themed. We're going to stick to the horror theme with a name
Well,
like Orlock Press.
yeah, and I think what we've proven with this is that there's a pretty significant market for a high quality, well produced horror story. Um, and uh and Matt, having done what he's done, uh has given it a lot of cachet, because all I hear is that question. I hear that all the time. Are you guys going to publish other things? Is there going to, and certainly I'm amenable to it. It's just got to be, are they professional? That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I know there's some Kickstarter projects for other works that Matt's been working with, the Grendel game, action figures. Any plans along those lines?
I don't quite know yet. I mean, for right now, Dark Horse is publishing stuff. The Grendel game worked out very well. They have another cool idea in mind that I can't quite reveal yet. I mean, certainly, let's say this: the Kickstarter thing is a unique and new model to the comic book publishing world, and yet it is not. It hasn't wiped out traditional publishing, and it hasn't wiped out traditional retail. Of course, we publish the hardcovers, and the Kickstarter is the only place to get our hardcover editions. But then Dark Horse releases a trade paperback version via more traditional retail outlets, online, bookstores, your LCS, etc. Because there are people that just don't pay attention to Kickstarter scene whatsoever. I will claim I think I'm one of them. I only vaguely see other Kickstarter projects. Um, uh, so it's a model that we want to continue to use, but
Well,
yeah, go ahead, Cal.
with
Fill me in there.
I think with me, I look at it as creator owned through Kickstarter or whatever crowdfunding is like YouTube. It's new. It's going to have its good and its bad, but where it's good, it's going
Ooh.
to beat like I don't see Dracula having been done any better anywhere by
Yeah,
any
I
publisher
agree with
other
that.
than
Yep,
what we're
yep,
doing.
yep.
And if there's a thing that it's doing, it's standing head and shoulders just on a level of physical quality. I mean, the book itself is physically wonderful.
Yeah,
Um,
we Kelley and I both tell the tales about, how many years have we been in this business between the two
Yeah.
of us. We are so used to getting boxes of our own books shipped to us,
Yeah.
comp copies. And, uh, we're so used to it. We open them up eventually, when Dracula comes in, right in the foyer, like
Right
we
in.
rip it open like,
Yeah.
holy shit, the new one's here.
And I think add to it the fact that I don't have to worry about a damn thing I draw. I just draw it. Matt just writes it, so I don't have to worry about a lot of cooks in the kitchen or hems and haws, or we can't show that, or we can't go there. Um, and
And that's one of the cool things about comics in its purest form
yeah,
is, of course, that gets diluted in a big corporate publishing scenario, but in its truest form, it's two dudes. It's an undiluted vision,
yeah,
and when you're working on a film, there's literally hundreds of people that work on a film, and then there's scores of people involved in promoting that and marketing it and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We pare it down and keep it a very pure vision
well, the joy
and
of it too is the freedom of it. I feel like Matt and I are in high school, but we have talent. And now we can, like, if you get two 15-year-olds with talent, they can go do a comic book.
yeah.
That's where we're at, is I sit there and I'm not even thinking about anyone else but what Matt's going to think when he sees it, or if this is where and
Years ago, a good buddy of mine, the guy Bob Chapman, who used to run graffiti design, said to me, "Comics are a petri dish.
yeah,
It's you put in a couple of elements and you get this unique alloy out of it.
yeah.
Whereas again, film, TV, so many other media, whole lot of cooks, whole lot of elements, whole lot of people stirring the pot, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And a lot of comics now. Now that wasn't the way I came up, and the vast majority of my career was I just dealt with one editor, and you dealt with
Me
them.
too. Me too. Yep.
Yeah. Now you have an
But I
editor.
mean, yeah, Kel, I think you and I were both lucky in that regard.
I
I
think
mean,
I think it was. Uh, a lot of people would describe it as the Wild West, but it was a pretty organized Wild West.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So, but the simple joy and freedom that I have, I know is being translated through the printer to the reader. I mean, there is not a buffer. There isn't something I could go, but if you would have just seen, or what I had in mind, or what they took out, there's none of that. So I'll look at it, uh, and it's the only time in my career, truly, maybe I I, I want to say for sure these first two Dracula books, I have had no wincing. I flipped through them, and it's exactly how I wanted it. It's exactly what I hoped it would be.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. It is that.
I just look at them, and I have to be honest with you. I have to put them away after a day, or I'll start being. My head will be so big I can't get through the door. It'll feel that good. So I just look at it that one day, and then I go away for a few days, and I come back and I go, yeah, it's still great. um, but it is a joy to do something that you know is good, that's and is important. I think what Matt wrote is an important book. I think it's also the best thing in comics in the past 20 years. It's at least ranks as one of the very finest books in the last 20-25 years, easily. um uh, all the things that make maybe it difficult to do at a company, well, there's difficulties with crowdfunding too, and it's still gotten through. And that is the sheer force of the ideas, and from Matt, and the complete total freedom I have when I'm working on it, and that is showing through. um it's something that, if there's another thing I love that these books are collectible out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah.
As soon as they come out, you can't get one. It is the only place to get it, in the hardcover form. It's just that
Yeah. Again, it's more readily available in the trade paperback, but
it
yeah.
is good for the soul, though, Matt,
Hmm. Hmm.
because then other people are getting the idea, and it's strong, and it's something they don't want to give up.
Adrian, good to see you again, bud. And we should move on to somebody else. But thanks so
Thanks for
much.
your time.
Good questions, Adrian. Good.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going on to Michael. Welcome. I'm going to add you to the thing, and there we go. And unmute. Yep, you're set. Go for
Yeah.
it.
Hi,
Hey, Michael, good to see you, man.
nice to see you. I've met you both. I love this team up of you guys. I think it's incredible.
I do too.
So that's
Ditto.
my first question. I mean, it's great that you have 4, maybe more of Dracula ideas, but what about other ideas? Like, I would love to see you guys do other projects,
I do
frankly.
too. If Matt has the idea, I'll do it.
Again, as I said earlier, like everything is story with us. Everything, it's not. It's great that we make money at this, and it's great that it's a huge success and everything. But the greatest joy is bringing a story to fruition. And so we need great ideas. And I don't know. For now, we're pretty focused on Dracula. So
Okay.
and
then
you know what will happen is what always happens. I'll probably be working here about 3 or 4 months from now on the new one, on the on 4, and Matt will say, "Hey, I had this idea the other day," and that's usually how it starts. And I got up in bed, or I was swimming, or I was making chicken paprikash, and this idea came to my mind. And what do you think? And and it will start from there, because he'll do that with the stories in general. He'll have this idea, and in the count, he just called me one day and he says, "Man, I have this idea. What do you think? Do you think it slows it down or whatever?" And not to spoil it, and I'm not. I thought it was brilliant. It was a side of and an aspect of the malice of Dracula that had nothing to do with drinking blood, but it was terrific. And it's a nod. What he did was a nod to the kind of
the existing lore.
yes, and I loved it, and I kept thinking, I like to receive Matt's ideas not as I have to draw it or professional to professional, as a total reader fanboy. Like if he was just telling me at a con, or you overhear it. That's how I receive his ideas. I want the emotion of it, and he gives that in spades. The great thing with Matt is that the emotion doesn't dilute over time. It doesn't dilute from him telling me to the script to me drawing it. It stays really fresh all the way to when we open those boxes like crazy, and as soon as they're delivered. And that's remarkable to me. That's and I will say that's
because of course when I turn in a script to Kelley, of course I'm sitting there on on pins and needles, like, oh, what's he think?
Yeah.
Well,
I always
and-
feel bad for Matt because I got to print it and then I got to read it a few times. So I know he's waiting that whole time. I put everything down and go do that.
Well, I love the extras. I was lucky to get a sketch of book 2.
Oh, good.
I actually got number 3.
Oh, right on, right?
Yeah. So
and those were you talking about the remarks? Kelley went
Yes.
beyond above and beyond on those. Those were hardly traditional remarks.
Yeah, but they should be cool, right?
Yep.
They should be cool.
You deliver always, my friend.
Yeah, because I want that.
Yep, you're right. Exactly.
I would want
exactly that. That's what it comes down to. Is we're
Yeah.
doing the shit we want to get.
Yeah.
We're telling the stories we want to read.
Yeah.
We're producing the books we want to own. It needs to thrill us before it can thrill anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, I work at a library, and I'm in Northeast Ohio, Cuyahoga County Public Library. We'd love to have you. I'll talk
right
to
on.
my.
I like libraries.
Okay, I'll mention
we love
you guys
libraries,
to
yeah.
them.
I
So,
love libraries.
all right, that's all I got. I'll pass it on to someone else.
Hey,
Thanks,
a
Michael.
lot,
Thanks for coming, man. Good to see you.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you very much.
Speaking of libraries, Matt, aren't you appearing at a library November 1st in Las Vegas?
I am. I'm going to a one-day con in Las Vegas called the Vegas Valley Comic Festival. The Clark County Library in Vegas does a book week, and for the last I want to say like 13 years, they've done one day as a comic book con dedicated to comics, and it's grown and grown and grown. When I first went, it was pretty darn small. I've been there 3 times now, and I leave on I leave on Halloween, and the next day, November 1st, is the con. So it should be
You're
spending
leaving on-
Halloween in
you're
Las
leaving
Vegas
on-
is very interesting.
So you're leaving on Friday.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right, we've got Ryan Daly. Welcome, Ryan.
Hey guys, thank you very much for taking this opportunity. I'm a big fan of both of you.
Thanks, Ryan. Good to see you, man.
Kelley, I think you were one of the first artists whose work I could identify by name when I was young enough to realize, hey, gremlins aren't making comics, it's actual human beings.
Yeah.
And Matt, this book, very formative for me. One of my favorite books of all time.
Thank you very much, man. I got to give, let's give full credit to Guy Davis on that as well.
Yeah.
So
absolutely, yeah, the whole series, the whole run.
Yep.
And I did not know about this project that you guys were doing, this collaboration, until a few weeks ago. So happy to be able to get the chance to get the other
a noob. You're a noob, man.
I am totally new. Well, when I saw this on Kickstarter, I was like, okay, Matt Wagner and Kelly Jones on Dracula. This must be a reprinting, because obviously these guys did this project in 1998 or something, right? Like, this feels like so obvious. But I have a question for each of you, but if this goes too long, feel free, cut me off, go to somebody else, we can come back. But Matt, I'll ask you first. I remember you gave an interview, I think it was on the Word Balloon podcast with John Suntress, and we're going back like 10 or 15 years. Where I believe you were making the point that when it comes to literary characters, sort of like this, and forgive me if I'm misrepresenting what you were saying, I'm kind of paraphrasing from memory, but something about the effect that like the essence of the character is kind of locked into the era in which they were created.
Absolutely.
Like Zorro as an example. Like if you take Zorro out of the 1800s, is it still Zorro if the geopolitical situation is different? Also, like if you take Superman and Batman out of 1938, 39, are they the same with the technology differences? Now, the answer to this might be self-evident because you said this Dracula project is in canon, but is that still a point of view that you hold? Is that still an opinion? And did that inform your approach to this book in any way?
Yeah, it will certainly be a challenge if we end up moving forward. How far do we move forward? I made a joke earlier about Dracula in outer space. You know, on one level, that's a fucking absurd, right? You know, but you know, he lives forever. So, but yeah,
I think you could do it with Dracula. You could do it with Dracula because we've already had him move through 400 years.
Yeah.
So he can do it. But I loved when Matt said that because I had never thought of it before until I saw that. And you're right. Batman's best in the 40s.
Yeah.
Zorro's best. You're absolutely right. And because I found myself knee-jerk doing it without realizing it. Even when I was doing Batman in the 90s monthly, I kept going back trying to make it look like the 40s. It's
just endemic to a character's created by an author, and that author is informed by his reality. And that means the social political reality that he lives in and the technological reality he lives in. I'd apply it to James Bond as well. I really don't want James Bond out of the 60s. I want the Cold War paranoia. I want the sexism. I want the racism. It makes him what he is. You know, you have to look at it and go, well, he's kind of a fucked up individual.
But I wish I was him. I wish I could smoke and drink and have all the girls. Yes, everyone wants that.
You know, the other one I like to point to is the Shadow. The Shadow only works in that time period because he only works in a day and a time when every man on the street had a hat on, number one. Because otherwise, like, who's that idiot in the fucking hat?
I tried to bring that look back and it did not work for me.
Yeah. Additionally, he only works in a time and a place where cities still had shadows because they don't anymore. They don't.
And
they're all every corner's lit up like a pinball machine.
And has cameras everywhere.
Yep, for security reasons. Nobody can sneak around.
No.
You know. So yeah, I love keeping these characters in their time and place. You know, you mentioned Superman there. Well, first of all, Batman couldn't exist as a billionaire. TMZ would be all over him all the time, and somebody would figure it out. But Superman with the glasses, right? You know, how could that be? How could that disguise a secret identity? You know, my parents are from that generation. People weren't in front of a camera all the time.
Yeah.
I have probably 3 photos of my parents before 1960. You know, it just makes sense that Superman wouldn't stick around to, you know, do interviews, and you know, it could work. But again, you know, Tarzan only works when most of the African continent is still unexplored. You know, I keep wishing new creators would come up with new heroes that reflect the new times, rather than try and revamp these old characters to fit into the new times, you know. Much as I love these old characters, I love them, obviously, you know. But yes, anyway. So Ryan, now you're off with Kelley.
Okay, I'll make this one pretty quick. Obviously, big fan of your work. My favorite artists are Bernie Wrightson and Gene Colan, and you are right in that mold. Like the similarities.
They're two of my favorites too.
They are all cousins.
Yeah, you feel very much in the family. But I was just wondering, for this project, did you challenge yourself in any new ways artistically? Did you explore different things? Like, were you editing yourself in terms of artistically, or were there any avenues that you kind of pushed that you might not have done had this project been with a different publisher? Or
no, what happened was Matt was working with something we all knew but completely original and fresh. So I did the same thing. I didn't look at anything. I didn't measure anything. I didn't want to bring any old what we've all seen before, because Matt was doing utterly new. The other thing was that I didn't have to go and be as loud or as broad as I normally am in a comic, because Matt's story was such that I didn't want to step on any of it. In a standard comic book story, you have to be a little loud, or at least I always
yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah.
So I didn't when I was doing, for example, Batman. That's or Sandman or any of that stuff. I would get a little broad because I wanted that for personally for my style and whatnot. But when I got to Matt's thing, I said it doesn't need that. It's all there. So all I had to do was just draw it as cinematically as I wanted. Now I really throughout. I've never been about the way of doing comic books, the way like Alex Toth would teach or whatever. Those are great and it's fine, but it didn't really fit me because I wasn't comic book art trained. I was film trained. So I always look at things how it would be if I was watching it on a movie as a film. And for example, I don't really care for perspective. It's all mathematics and made up to me. There is no real perspective, but there is a foreground, midground, background, and there is lighting, and that would give me depth. And in a comic book page where it's reduced, I'm not looking at little boxes. Now I feel like I'm more into it. So I mean, you have to know. I eyeball it. I pick out the points and then do it. But Matt's story was such that I didn't want to get in the way. I didn't want to. The ideas were too strong, and I felt like if I could just do this cinematically and go full blown cinematically, it would make his story and his ideas that much stronger, a lot more stronger.
And I said to him recently, we were talking on the phone, and I said, Kel, Jesus, it's fucking great as book 1 and book 2 were. There's a focus and an intimacy here in book 3 that which, you know, people haven't seen yet, but it's just holy cow, man. It's you have just broken through to. I keep saying this, and I will stand by it, that I think this is going to be Kelley's magnum opus. This is like the thing he was born to draw, you know.
I agree, and I like hearing that because I think I've had some good stuff under my belt.
I like hearing it because I got to write it.
Yeah, you did. But I've had some really great stuff under my belt, and when you get to our stage of our careers, it's nice to have something come along.
Right, we should be winding down instead of winding up.
Yes. That people
Please
will
don't.
say, yeah, really. But magnum opus, I would say, I would say, and for me to identify with the character of Dracula, that I'm good with that.
Hey, Ryan, got to say goodbye and move on to somebody else. Thanks so much for your questions.
Thank you very much. I'm really excited.
That was excellent, Ryan. That was a very good question. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, the preview pages for issue 3 that you put out in the recent Kickstarter update, mind-blowing. So awesome.
Thank you.
All right, here is Ryan. Welcome, Ryan.
No,
Get
that
on.
was Ryan.
Oh, that was Ryan.
Looks like
Yep.
it next
Here's
is
Scott.
Scott.
Yep. Here you go, Scott. Welcome. Unmute yourself. Oh, perfect background.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there you
Hi,
go.
can you
Right
hear me?
on. Scott's got the background to accentuate the moment.
Oh yeah,
Yes, he does.
this is my little man cave here. So happy to share it. Just real quick praise for Kelley. I got 1991. I always remember going to my local comic store and picking up Batman Dracula Red Rain. And
There you go.
changed my world. So when I found out you were teaming up with Matt to do some Dracula stuff, I was all in. And just Matt, I just had a real quick question. First, I cheated. I Googled it. I think that book you were talking about was The Land Beyond the Forest by
Yes.
Emily Gerard. Yeah.
Yes,
And I was just,
that's it.
I just was fascinated the way you took Stoker's mythology and gave it more depth with this. You explain the Scalomance, and I don't want to ruin everything, but you explain why Dracula is maybe a little different from the creatures he creates. My question, just real quick, is Matt, you've dealt with vampires before in Grendel and the Tower Chronicles. I was just kind of curious, like, for those your own vampires, how do they kind of differ from the Stoker vampires, or have you ever given that any real thought?
Well, it's it's a pretty broad schism, right? A pretty broad palette, and what you can do. But to your point there, one thing I took to heart was in approaching Dracula's origin story, which is what book 1 is. I was just determined, like, he can't just get bitten by another vampire. That's fucking boring. He is the OG vampire. He is the vampire lord. He has to become a vampire in a very special sense, I don't know if anybody saw the fairly disappointing film Dracula Untold. He it grants Vlad, way too much heroism, and he basically just goes into the mountains, gets bitten by a vampire to get the powers to defend himself against the Turks, No, he had to be anointed by Satan himself. It had to be that big. It had to be that that damned, you know. Uh, uh, and I like messing around with vampires because vampires are, without getting a little too heady here, but if anybody's read Stephen King's Dance Macabre, he tends to break down horror monsters into the 3 big archetypes, which is Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Wolfman, and that is the contagion that consumes, and the thing with no name, and the rage within. And I just kind of always gravitated towards the vampires, much as I love Frankenstein and the Wolfman too, vampires have always been my thing. So I like approaching them in many different ways. I love the vampires in Near Dark. I love the vampires in Let the Right One In. I love the vampires in the 3 different versions of Nosferatu. I love the vampires in Stoker's version. Vampires is just my thing. I don't love the vampires in Twilight so much.
No, and I always like that too, because I think a vampire, okay, for Dracula, it's just him. He's a vampire. Frankenstein, it's Frankenstein and Victor. Okay, so there's that. Wolfman is when he's a wolfman and when he's not. So there's a duality in all this stuff, but there isn't in a vampire. He's a straightforward character.
Yep.
Clearly unredeemed. Doesn't want to be redeemed.
Doesn't want to be redeemed. No, doesn't give a shit about that.
And I think what I love about our Dracula is he doesn't see himself as a bad guy. He sees himself as
what he is. That's it. Yeah.
And
the same way a shark doesn't see himself as a vampire, a bad guy. Yeah.
No, he's doing what he does.
Yep.
And he's got objectives. I think what Matt did that was great was he's still that warlord with his strategies, his goals, his ultimate objectives. And other vampires, it's just like eat, go to bed. Eat.
Yeah, and that's the approach we take. Is that there have always been vampires, but they're more like revenant ghouls.
Yeah.
Satan with Dracula created a cognizant vampire. A vampire that could use his intelligence and his scheming qualities. Whereas before it was just like a germ that Satan laid down on Earth, you know. Now it's a very directed germ, you know. It's AIDS, it's COVID, it's it's something like that. So
well, and I also like how Matt would bring in the sorcery aspect of it. And he did.
Hey man, I didn't bring that in. That's in the fucking book.
I know, but you did in this way. You
Yep.
led people down, because a lot of times that's never done in a comic.
Yep.
He's just,
Yep.
The cross makes him jump, all that kind of stuff. So Matt did a thing I really liked when I read the first script, is to gain the knowledge of where to meet the Satan and find the Skullmans. He has to go to a witch who's out in the outskirts of some isolated village, and so you get a taste that there is magic in the world.
Yeah,
that there is something there, and I really like that little foreshadowing taste of what was going to come,
and it's something he's never addressed before.
No, and I think that when Dracula has to be with that woman, it's a pretty big price for that bit of information, and that foreshadows everything that's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's why I think I always when I first read it, I remember telling Matt I described him as literary pulp, and that's what I mean. It was very literary, but very pulp at the same time. It's like it's like,
which is a title I love.
Yeah,
and embrace.
Well, it's Roger Corman doing a David Mamet script. It's like it's that kind of a thing when you put those,
or a Poe adaptation,
or the Poe, where you get the goods, but you also get the meat of the literary side of it. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Thanks for coming, man. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much.
Thanks so much, Scott. So maybe issue 5, he goes to Japan and meets to someone named Toshiro at some sort of kabuki. All right, here comes Adam P.
Hey, Adam. Good to see you, man. Thank you for coming.
Hello. Honored to get a chance to talk to both of you. First, plug, guys, if we haven't bought them.
Right on. Good to see that.
They're awesome. They're awesome. Honored to have been involved with bringing them to life. Matt, don't really have a question for you guys. I just want to, praise you guys for a moment.
We're always good at hearing praise, Adam. We're great. We can do that.
I've been a fan going back to the mid-'80s. When I was a young man, still in grade school, Kamiko was doing the Robotech adaptation.
Yeah.
And the ads in the book were for things like Grendel and Mage, more Mage than anything else at that point, because Mage was close to the end.
Which marketing-wise didn't make any goddamn sense, but
no, it hit me to it. And when I was going into Robotech, got me to go into the comic book shop, and waiting for Kamiko to kind of get on a regular schedule with it took a while. So I was going to the shop every couple of weeks, every month for a few months, walking out with nothing. Eventually I broke down and picked up Mage number 14.
Oh.
Now it's a bad issue to jump in on if you
but
don't
it can be a crucial one, yeah.
But it completely blew my mind with, holy cow, where's the rest of this story? And it made me
just two guys talking the entire
but the reveals were so intriguing that I had to go back and catch up. And I've just
that's
been
great.
a huge fan ever since. I have literally just followed everything you've ever done, read everything you've done.
Thanks, man.
I have 2 shelves worth of your stuff in there. Kelley, first noticed your work really standing out when I think Action Comics experimented with going weekly, and you did the Dead Man run.
Yes.
On that.
Really? I don't remember that, huh?
Yeah. That's what led to the Dead Man big book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were doing a weekly installment where there were 4 or 5 stories.
Well, they thought in their wisdom and not realizing that an 8-page every week would be easier on artists for deadline, but it actually increased the number of pages you were doing.
Yeah.
No one thought of that. And I was lucky in that they didn't pick me to do that story. I believe Dan Jurgens was to do it, and he backed out at the last second. At the very last second, he backed out. So I was just doing a little bit of inking on some nameless thing because I just came over to DC, and
so Kel, I got to ask, in that, were you drawing your version of Dead Man? Your
Yep.
Dead Man? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, he's very anorexic, weird.
Yeah.
I mean, the way
Yeah.
Excellent does
Great.
it, yeah.
Great.
And it
Very
was
unique look.
yeah, it wasn't anything they asked for, but it was the only way to do it, you know. And actually, I was testing DC out. I was seeing, well, if they fire me, you know, okay, I know where I stand. But they let it go, and I owe it all to those awful deadlines. They were so late; they had to just run, you know.
Yeah. Right. No
And
chance for corrections.
none.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so I got to run those off, and at that moment, DC liked it enough, and John Toddleben was to do the Prestige series, but he became ill and begged off. So on 2 occasions, that's the luck of just sometimes it's just
that really is. Yeah.
And so they gave it to me.
Again, that was a perfect storm.
It was, and arrogantly, I had then said, only if I get to ink it will I do it, because I wanted to ink my own work to then finally show. Then after that, you can have an inker, but at least you can say, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
You know? And they didn't care. It was Dead Man to the DC, unless Neil Adams was doing it, was simply to keep the copyright. They had to do something so often, you know?
Sure.
So many pages, I believe. That's what they told me. So Richard Bruning, who was the editor, who was married to Karen Berger, put me on that and let me alone for a year. And that's the closest I've felt to working, was that year I'm left alone doing Dead Man and nobody cared, to doing Dracula with Matt, where where you just, all I got to do is make Matt happy. There's total freedom in that. And that's why
sorry, go ahead.
No, and that's why it's kind of a nice bookend, because though I'd been doing comics for a while, that's where I really started, because I got to show myself, and now I'm back to that. You know, it's
excellent.
Yeah.
I will say your work on Sandman is also extraordinary.
It sure hell is. Yeah.
Thank you. No, that was another one of those things where I was brought in because there were other people not being able to make deadlines.
Sandman had a long run and a very celebrated run.
Yeah.
And everybody still thinks about Kelley's as the run, you know.
I was very lucky in that they got a hold of me when they were doing the first series on Netflix, and one of the production people had sent me what they were doing and had apologized because they didn't know how to they wanted the look I was doing, but they didn't know how to achieve a lot of that. And at that time, Neil was trying to tell them what to do. And Neil had famously said his regret was it didn't look more like the Seasons of Mist stuff, at which they hadn't done at that point. But I thought they did fine. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, I think they were surprised. I said, this looks great. And the cat episode was a knockout.
Awesome. The cat episode was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say there's the moment that there is there are several of sort of your images that they captured frame for frame in season 1 when he's first laid out, captured.
Yep.
And when he's on his throne talking to, what's his name, son, after he's escaped. And he's that moment, for a moment, he's on his throne and it's just the silhouette and you see his eyes glowing from the dark.
It's interesting you say that. That is when they did mention that a few times, that they were trying to do that. I don't know how I would do it. I mean, if I'm directing, I would
absolutely
try. I don't know. But no, I mean, that it's probably easier if they're going to animate. You know, I know that when they do Batman animated stuff, they'll get a hold of me. It's interesting because I look now, and a lot of people are doing the long ears and the weird capes and all that, and I'm thinking none of them are getting the push that I used to get. Now they're all celebrated. But it's nice. I mean, it's nice that something lasts that long and that anyone remembers it. I think Matt would agree that when you've done something and it's 30 years ago or however long ago and it's remembered, it's a pleasure.
Hey, Adam, we got to wrap you up and move on to the next guy,
I do have one quick question for you, Matt. Figures. I need more Grendel figures.
Well, do my best, pal. There's some more. There's some more coming. So yeah.
I need every incarnation. I need everyone never wore the mask turned into a figure. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you so much. Alrighty, we got Francesco coming up next. Francesco, sorry, man.
Hey, how are you? I just want to say hi.
Buddy. How are you?
Good, good. I said that's
Dude,
my
I
chance
haven't seen you in
to-
so long.
Oh yeah, it's been 10 years maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe less. But I never had the pleasure to meet Kel in person, but
Well, it's good meeting you, Francesco.
hopefully one day.
One day we will.
We're still young, right?
How's
But
Lisa, buddy?
Just want to say hi and love you. Love what you guys are doing. You know, big fan.
I knew. Francesco's done some of the most awesome posters for Mondo posters. I don't know if you know that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and some particularly great Dracula ones. And,
yes, excellent.
But yeah, we are tackling the Hammer. I think I already got one approved. That is it's coming out next year. But we are trying to do, since the Universal monsters I covered most of them. Now we are moving to the Hammer. So Hammer
awesome.
film.
Yeah,
awesome.
the mummy one looked just outstanding.
Oh yeah, that one. I just got the artist proof and
It looked
blew my mind.
outstanding. Yes.
Dude, when you come to
That's
Portland
fun.
again?
I should come soon. To be
Yes,
honest,
you should.
Yeah. Do you still have the army, or is it okay to come? You know, I don't want to get picked up in the sea.
No, you come.
I do have an accent. So.
We'll make it work out. It's fine here. That
All right.
bullshit is like it is not a war
It's
ravaged
like-
city.
it's
It's as
like-
calm and peaceful and beautiful as it's ever been.
Oh
So-
no, I know.
Yep,
Trust me.
yep.
On the other hand, Sacramento is a war zone. Don't come to Sacramento.
That's where you are.
Yeah, I'm north of Sacramento, but it's the
Okay.
biggest city near me. We don't.
Yeah.
No one goes to Sacramento.
No, but okay. But yeah, I guess we both should go to Portland and grab dinner together.
Yes, indeed.
All right. But yeah, thank you guys.
Yep.
Keep
Love you,
doing the
Francesco.
magic.
Very
Thanks for
good
coming,
seeing
buddy.
Right.
Tell Lisa
Bye-bye.
we said hi.
I will. Thank you.
Dang, good to see you. Forgive me for not recognizing you there.
Oh, no problem.
Have a great night.
You
All
too.
right. All right, we got Eric coming in next. Welcome, Eric.
Hey,
Eric, who
guys.
both
Hey,
Kelley and I have
Eric.
interviewed with many times for
Yes.
his
Long time no
incredible
see, guys.
Horror film man.
podcast,
Yes, very
Cradle to the
good.
Grave. Yeah.
Did some good stuff with him and Steve Bissett. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
It's
to
going
see you
great.
again.
Good to see you,
Good, good,
buddy. We just did something
I
recently
did-
with you.
Yeah.
I
Talk
did
about
ask you a
Blade
bunch
2.
of I did ask you a bunch of questions when I had you on my show, Cradle to the Grave. Shameless plug. But one question I forgot to ask you, Matt, when you were on. So in book 1, you name checked one of your favorite vampire films. You
Yes, let the right one in. Yep.
Now, I've read book 2, and I was looking for another name check of a vampire.
It's
film, but I
there.
couldn't. It is. Where is it? I couldn't find it.
I can't tell you the page. He has decided that maybe he will never get the earthly power he wants, and he's wandering through the woods and he encounters a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, regardless of all this, I am still a prince of darkness.
Oh, okay. One of Kelley's favorite
Yeah.
horror.
And in
film.
fact, in book 3, there's a call out as well. So
Excellent. And I'm not going to keep you very long. Kelley, what are you dressing up for Halloween this year?
This year I'm going to dress up as a very harried late artist. That's my goal. What I'm gonna do is put ink all up and down my arms like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And throw candy at kids. Just throw it, because I don't have time for that answering crap.
No, man.
I'm on my way to Vegas, and I'm going to be in Vegas for Halloween.
Oh my God, Matt!
Yeah.
Are you going by yourself?
No, Barb's coming with me.
Okay,
What's
yeah,
happening in
We got
Vegas?
cool little masks. We're just gonna wander around the strip, and we got cool. There's a. I'm gonna get a little a little plug here too. Brendan found this site. It's called madmasks.com.
Mhm.
And they are these cosplayer masks, and they are form-fitted leather.
Oh, what did you
And
buy a mask of?
it's a
just a-
Titan's Robin mask.
See, I keep thinking of
Barb got a black cat, but it's you put it all on with wig tape, so there's no thing around the back of your head.
Oh, I was hoping it would be Eyes Wide Shut masks.
Sounds a little kinky.
You know what? We tried a few of those, and
Yeah.
I have such a pumpkin head that
Well-
like the mask could be like, oh Jesus, I can't see. You know.
That's the German Swedish, right?
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
anyway, the site Mad Masks.
Well, that's
really
cool.
really great masks. Yep.
Well, I can't wait to have you guys back on the show. It's always a blast talking to you.
We'll be there
Hopefully-
with you for book 4, my friend.
Book 4, we got to find another cool vampire movie or Dracula movie to
You
talk
know
about.
we'll do it.
Good to see you guys. Take care.
Let's go for lesbian vampires next time.
Yes,
There's
there
tons
you
of
go.
them.
The
That's a good
Karnsteins.
theme.
The Karnsteins.
All right. Some 70s lesbian vampire
Yeah.
You gotta
movies.
get the Karnsteins, man.
You got
Yep.
it. You got it. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Eric. Put the link for your podcast in the chat there so everyone can check it out. All right, we are coming in with Up and Adam Comics. What up, Adam? I'm guessing. Unmute yourself there. That's a cool shirt too. I'll hit the ask to unmute button.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, I'm another
Hey,
Adam.
is it Adam?
Yeah.
Are we talking to Adam?
Yeah.
Yep, another Adam.
Right on. Yep. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you. Hey, I got this in my hand, so I just want to let you know, like last Halloween, I had volume 1 to read, so I'm kind of holding off, and this is my Halloween.
Awesome. Perfect.
You're
Perfect.
We'll be reading that, so I'm really
It's a
excited about
good
that.
Halloween read, actually. That will be a good
That gives
Halloween
joy
read.
to our dark little hearts.
Yes,
believe
it
me.
does.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and a couple of ego strokes, but for Matt, you're the back in the day in my town, we didn't have a comic shop, and we just had newsstands that were distributing things. And I heard when Grendel was coming out, so I convinced my newsstand to start ordering direct so that we could get independence. And so Grendel was like,
where are you? Where are you?
This was in Lynchburg, Virginia, back
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the time.
sure.
So
Yep.
now I live up near Harrisonburg, Virginia. But
Yep.
yeah, kind of crazy.
I did 2 years at JMU.
That's where I work. Yeah.
Yep.
I work at JMU, so I recruit people for the arts for JMU. So pretty crazy. But anyway, and Kelley, I've loved your work so much. It's so funny when y'all said magnum opus for Kelley's work. Doing this Dracula book, I have used that exact phrase for describing it to other people. I was like, Wrightson had his Frankenstein as his magnum opus. This is Kelley Jones' magnum opus for Dracula.
Could not agree more.
You
Could
know,
not
and
agree
what's
more.
so funny is I'm so stupid. It wasn't till we were doing this for the brides last year that connection even made it to me. People were saying that, and I'm going,
"Oh wow,
oh yeah, you're right." Bernie with Frankenstein, me with Dracula. I hadn't even made that connection. I think it was Matt who said it, and I'm like,
wow.
but I'm too close to it right now, so I don't see.
Yeah, no, I get that. Well, I had like 2 really quick questions. First, I know, and it sounds like Matt, you might be traveling, but what movie are y'all watching on Halloween night, if you had one, for horror?
Kel, you want to start?
Oh, for me, I always go with the classic oldie. This year it would be Curse of the Demon, and then I'm having my kids, which are adults and grown, and they're coming over to watch Halloween 3, and I think they also wanted to see the remake, the late '80s remake of The Blob.
Awesome.
I have never seen that, and I keep wanting to
It's
see
great.
that. Yeah.
It is absolutely terrific.
Yeah.
What's his face who made Shawshank Redemption?
Darabont.
Yeah, Darabont wrote it. So it has
that's got to be good then. Yeah.
it is, and it's completely it does some taboo stuff in there, which makes it really great. But it's a terrific, terrific film. So I haven't seen that for a while, so I'm looking forward to actually I'm a big fan of Halloween 3. They filmed it about not too far from where I have a place, and it's a spooky area, so it was a great choice for them. Probably did it because it was cheap, but I've always felt it was a terrific little forgotten film.
Great,
So
great.
I just the other night I rewatched Fright Night from the '80s, which
That's
I think
classic.
I still think that holds up really well. I mean,
Man,
it's got a really teen '80s vibe, but I think it's good. I think Sarandon's terrific in it.
Oh yeah, when he tells him, Charlie, you have a choice, I don't. That
Yeah.
elevated it right there.
Yeah. Additionally, I'm a giant fan of John Carpenter's The Fog.
Yeah, I am too.
I think that's a very underappreciated film.
Man, I think The Fog is outstanding.
My son who is my colorist who loves kind of an older music vibe, he's like, I want Stevie Wayne. Where's my Stevie Wayne?
Everyone wanted
my Stevie Wayne late night jazz station with Stevie Wayne in a lighthouse.
Okay, the cool thing is I took my kids to Drake's Bay where they filmed this. Inverness, it's all there. The town where the fog is going down the street, that street's still there.
Oh, wow.
When you go to the lighthouse, you can drive right out there, and there it is.
Wow.
What they don't tell you, though, is when you see Stevie and she's going to go down to get in her lighthouse, they have a sign just when you get to the top of the stairs that it's the same as descending or climbing a 33-story building. So when you go down, your legs are like shaking.
Yeah.
But
it's a long walk. Yeah,
it is a long way, and then you stare up that hill, right?
She's got to come back up that at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
I will admit, I cut my wife loose. It's like the thing. I cut him loose, man. Cut my wife loose. Grab the kid. You got to struggle. But it was awesome, and again, great location. When you drive out there, it's the fog.
A great film, and it's kind of the fledgling efforts of Rob Bottin, who of course went on to produce probably 2 of my favorite horror films of all time. The special effects 2 of my horror films of all time. The Thing, which is I don't know, just in the stratosphere, and The Howling, which for my money is the best werewolf movie.
Yeah, Howling is outstanding. Yes,
yep, absolutely. Yeah, great. Well, the other just like a quick question I wanted to ask is, let's say if Dracula didn't exist, is there another like, and these are great, tangential stories to the original novel. Is there anything else that you would like to do creatively, tangentially to the other story, like something else that sparks your mind of like, oh, it'd be really cool to
I don't know.
tell this story?
Again, we're so deep into this; it's hard to, we've had questions like this, and it's hard to cast your mind elsewhere. It's like we're
oh sure,
we're deep in the crypt. I mean, it's Kelley, got any ideas there?
If it were me, it would be taking something. Either one, I could see Matt doing it and freshening it up and making it like taking it from its romantic roots. But I would love if Matt would do something where you could do the Rime of the Ancient Mariner or Cristobal.
Holy shit, man!
Yeah.
Wow, that's what I expected. Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Because those are true horror stories, and Coleridge is seen as this great romantic poet. But man, I love the fact that when he wrote, he didn't finish Cristobal either. So Matt has that, which is a vampire story. But Lord Byron read it during Diodate with the Shelleys there and everything, and it wasn't finished. So he only read it up to that point, and then that's why they decided to write ghost stories that night.
Which led to Frankenstein.
And Byron was so upset that he sent Coleridge 150 pounds, which was a lot of money then, to fucking finish it, right? Because they wanted to know how it ended. And he did say, as he got older, it was the regret of his life that he never finished it, so Matt could finish it.
There you go.
Well, there's
there you go. Here first.
we got a decent amount of Dracula to get through first, but
Yeah.
anyway, thanks, dude.
You
Thanks
asked,
for your
that's
question.
Thanks
my
so
answer.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam. All right, we are on with Craig Stone. What up, Craig? Let's see. Hold on. Let's unmute you here real quick.
Unmute yourself, Craig.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I have no relation Verizon at all. Been a longtime fan, Matt and Kelley, of your work.
Thank you.
Speaking of Sandman, I have one of your original Sandman pages from Season of Mist.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, it's got the shares on in the bottle and the chest.
Storage.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one of your covers, Matt, from Robin miniseries, where he's pulling out that electrical box.
You have that one? Wow.
I have that one. Yes.
Wow. That was the days of special effect covers, and that was
Yes, it was. It was one of those early covers.
Yep.
Probably have most Grendel things ever made. Love what you're doing with the Dracula stuff. I had a kind of a question about. Well, I wasn't really originally gonna ask about how you came up with the origin for Dracula, which I thought was spot on. It was more developed than what we normally see. But since that question's already been asked, I will ask a different one. With regards to the creative process with you and Kelley, you give Kelley a script, he draws it, but is there ever like a point where Kelley comes back and goes, here's an opportunity, or something changes?
No, it's more that Kelley just does that.
Yeah,
and it always works. It's more if there's any contention, it's more me coming back and saying from various storytelling things, like, okay, storytelling wise, blankety 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 blank. The best example I know of this is that the first page of book 1, we went through 4 different versions of that.
Yeah.
Because we knew leading into this, we needed to capture people about Dracula on page 1 of book 1. And I had written a description in my script. Kelley drew that. It matched what I had written. And I was like, dude, this just doesn't work. I didn't quite hit it. You didn't quite hit it. We need to readdress this. Yeah. And again, we went through 4 different versions before we ended up with what we ended up with. And it's perfect. And that's just as we approach everything in this project, again, it's all about storytelling. Is this the best way we can tell this moment of this story?
And that may sound maddening, but it isn't, because it is getting it right. You want to get it right.
And it's not like I'm hitting you up with that on every page. It's like occasionally I go, hey, dude, this is a moment we need to really think about.
It's not arbitrary. I mean, there are times in my career, and at least in my experience, sometimes you'll get someone who's just going to be arbitrary, and there's no rhyme or reason, and it didn't make any difference, and you learn to get around that. I always learn to get around it by putting it off till the end and then post-it noting the same thing, saying you're right, your idea was great. And
no, I always have a reason, and I can describe it.
But when Matt does it, it's not that way. It's like there is somewhere you're trying to get, and you want to get there. I have no problem with that. I am an adherent to Stanley Kubrick's "you either care or you don't," and when you care, you get great work. Great results, and it's going to be printed forever. I don't want to look at it and think it's substandard or I got tired that day. It's like, no, you want it great.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, well, you're doing a great job, and Kelley, your work's always been organic, but I think you've taken it to a new level. And up until this point, I was buying the Matt covers, just to be fair. But this third one, I had to get the Kelley cover because that's an amazing.
It's one
cover.
of those things that I have a very good friend. She's the 3rd vampire in our story, the real girl who
in the Brides.
Matt, she buys all of them. She likes to have all the covers.
Right on.
And I dig that. It was nice because she never knew. She bought the first one just because she likes Dracula, right?
Yeah.
And so when she found she was going to be the 3rd girl in this, it was one of those things where I don't think I could do anything. The rest of my life, she'll do anything for me now. Yeah.
Hey, Craig, thanks
Artistic
for coming on,
license.
man.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Craig. All right, we're going over to Alex. And anyone else, if you have any more questions, please do raise your hand. I'm going to get to a couple in the chat after.
Yeah, yeah. If there's some in the chat, we'll answer those too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, I just want to say, Kelley, your work on this is just absolutely fantastic. I
Thank you,
can't
Alex.
think of any
Couldn't
other
agree more.
artist. It was like you were born to do this.
I think Matt's right. I was born to do this. Yes.
I've been following your work since Mage and Grendel. You're just absolutely fantastic.
Thanks, man.
Unfortunately, if you live outside of America, I'm up in Scotland, shipping is like Kickstarter's worst enemy. So unfortunately,
I know.
I've got to get the PDFs of these. And so is it possible maybe that you could put like all the covers that are done in the PDFs or something?
Oh, okay. That's an interesting thing.
That's an interesting request, and
Yeah,
we never
that's a good
considered it. But
question.
yes, we will. Yes, we'll definitely do that. Yep.
Yes, we will.
Yep.
Because it's a real bummer missing out on like
Yes,
the,
yes. We'll definitely do that. Yep.
okay.
Yeah, we should have thought of that.
In fact, we will just offer for anybody that's bought the PDFs, the digital. We'll just offer here's a freebie of all the covers. Yep.
What I was maybe thinking as well is maybe just to do sort of like a mini sketchbook of all the covers once it's finally finished. I know that's a long way down the road.
Yeah, but again, I agree. I agree that's a good idea, but I think we'll just offer those for free.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Hey,
Dave.
thanks, Alex. Sorry we can't accommodate you more from being abroad, but you know.
It's not your fault. It's the bleeding.
I know, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you again for everything.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, I shipped the box to the UK today and it was like $50.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
All right, Gustavo, welcome. Unmute yourself
man.
there, dude.
Am I on?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
got it.
are. Good to see
Hey,
you, man.
hey
Thank you.
guys. I
Rockin'
just wanted to
t-shirt,
say-
buddy.
What?
There you go.
Rockin'
Nice.
t-shirt.
Oh yeah, my favorite right now, honestly.
There you go. Yep.
I put it on for a special occasion.
Right
and
on.
I just wanted to first of all congratulate you guys on probably making the best comic of the decade.
No.
I agree with that, and not because I'm involved. I will say without any humility, this is separate from me. When I read his first script, I felt, and I remember telling my wife, I said, you always want to get a script or a story that anyone could draw, and it would be great, right? You know it is because it's that strong. Just be glad you got it and don't fuck it up.
I'm just glad Kelly Jones got it.
Yeah, I am. Me
I
too.
wanted to say that. Matt, I wasn't familiar with your work. I was actually a huge Kelly Jones fan.
Oh, awesome.
Why? I was a huge, I started reading Red Ring when I was a teenager, which I
Right
did
on.
question about that. Oh, also congratulations on getting me a book that I have to read with full gloves on. With
Yes, you do.
with the here we go. The remark right here.
Yeah. Kelly went above and beyond with those remarks.
Oh
on book
my
2.
gosh! I hope you do another one because
most remarks are what, a little 1.5 by 2 inches, something like that.
It's amazing. It's probably my most prized possession right now.
Thank you.
Matt, I want to really just praise the once as a writer, I want to just praise your interpretation of Satan and how everybody perceives him differently.
Yep.
That really, I love book 2, but book 1 really it really hit there with that. There was just something I was just this is very elevated writing with how everybody interpreted him differently. And how the design was also very Satan.
Yeah, and our design there for Satan was again, we were just trying to go against type, that it would be this child with black eyes, And I will say the long red decorated cloak was kind of our nod towards the Francis Ford Coppola version, because Dracula wears that in kind of the early part. But one thing that we never really expressed or explained, because there's certain things you do creatively that you don't really want to over explain. You just want to let them bleed into the readers or the viewers consciousness. So this young boy that Dracula appears as, in my mind, that was a boy that Vlad the Impaler had impaled.
Oh.
And might have taken way too long to die, and might have screamed longer and louder and more horrifically than anybody else. And that's the form Satan chose to present himself to as Dracula. And Dracula was like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care. So it just goes to accentuate Dracula's mercilessness,
So that was like what you're saying, that it accentuated like the closest he would come to guilt, that's what he would see.
Yeah, he doesn't have any guilt.
Right.
That kid was in a city that defied him, and he has to go. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
I interpreted it as this whole time I kind of assumed that you just meant that he doesn't even fear the devil, so he just sees him as a young child. That's what I thought you meant by that.
Oh, well, that's a great interpretation too. Again,
that's
when you're talking about these sort of supernatural perceptions, it's open to interpretation, and I'm so glad to hear that from you, because that's a really great
I like that
interpretation.
too.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
think in ambiguity, that's one of the things I like. Not every question answered, but Matt had an answer, right? It doesn't come from I just didn't think about it. I do that too. I like a certain amount of ambiguity.
Because truthfully, if you don't explain stuff, it doesn't mean that the viewer or the reader isn't going to perceive some aspect of that. Over explaining stuff becomes boring.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask Kelley this because I just, as a huge Red Rain fan, I really got into your stuff because of that, and I just wanted to say, how does the body language and inspiration of that Dracula differ from your current Dracula? I guess more so the original, since we know.
Oh, good question.
Well, that one was a far more two-dimensional take, because he was just the foil, and at that point I would do as it was described. He was to be, as Doug Minch said, the greatest villain he would face, because obviously it's Dracula, but he didn't want to step on anything to do with Dracula or with what was going to happen to Batman. So he was more of your we didn't go into why he was doing things or where, any of that stuff. We figured everyone knew it. When it came to Matt was started with him as a person, and it was a total character piece, and he is the star of the show. So
whereas Red Rain Batman's the star of the show.
Batman is that, and a good thing. See, now you're asking. You've made me think. DC wants to do a very fancy version of Red Rain, or put out one, and the slipcase they want to make a coffin. So we'll see if they can do that.
Oh, dude, can you get me on the comp list for that?
I will get that. I will get that. But they want to put all those in some such form like that. But it was something that I've always liked, because with the Red Rain Dracula, he's not going to compete with my Matt Wagner Dracula. They both do what they need to do, and they both have it isn't like I'm taking the same ground twice. And I didn't worry about that, because Matt's whole thing was, I want you to see him as a person. We're going to do it, it's not going to be what everyone else has done in that sense. So that was great to hear, because then I could reject all that, and none of that would bleed over into me and whatnot. And actually, what makes both those things work is that they are character pieces. That was a real delving into why Batman's Batman, and how far, his resisting, even when he's infected. And then with Matt's, it was why he does what he does, and the fact it did not affect him, how awful he is. His own. There's no corruption of his soul, and there's no, terrible guilt, and why did I impale all those?
There's no goddamn guilt.
Nothing. It is sociopathic, but not in that hackneyed way of it.
Yeah.
He's a ruler.
A much more grandiose way. Yeah.
Right. He's a ruler. He's a warlord. He's there to protect his country. He's there to protect his country to the point that maybe nobody will be in it after he's done protecting.
Yeah. Right.
So that really is a lot to work with. At least for me, that guy starts drawing himself. I never had 1 second of difficulty on drawing Matt's Dracula. He's there.
I will say he does not. It's awesome.
So
hey, Gustavo, got to move on here.
All right.
Thanks, man. Good seeing you. Thanks for coming.
Questions.
And
great questions.
Bunch of great questions.
Just want to say thank you all. You have inspired me a lot. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Gustavo. Great questions, man.
Yeah, they were.
All right, we got Matt Edwards, and then I'm gonna roll into some chat stuff. Go ahead. Oh, he's on vid.
How we doing?
Hey, Matt. Good to see you, buddy.
You too, brother. How you been?
Good. You gonna be at OAX?
Yeah. I missed this past one, but I was like, fuck, I can't miss it twice. So
Okay. Well, yeah. I'll be there. I'll be there this year. Yep.
That's what I figured. But that's it. I just wanted to come on and say hi. Figured I'd say hi.
Good to see you, man.
Tell Brendan I said the same.
Yep, I will.
All right. We'll see you guys soon.
Okay.
Drinking whiskey.
See you, buddy.
It's whiskey time.
Us too. Yep.
All right. Cheers, guys.
See you, bud.
Cheers.
I just had a great conversation with Kazra today. I think I'm going to be at OAX.
What?
Yeah. Did you see the announcement?
Everything for me, man. All right. I'll talk to you later about that.
Definitely. Last year they just text me and they're like, "What does Matt drink?" And I'm like, "Bourbon." All right, so here we go. In the chat, we have a question here, statement from Kirk F. He said, "I don't know if you're answering chat questions, but I have 3 toddlers that are going to bed, and I hope to watch the recording of this later."
Yeah, that's a lot of work, man.
Yeah. All right. So he says, "I believe you have attributed much of the success of Dracula to the appeal and allure of the Count himself. I don't know if you were speaking about the novel specifically or the broader range of media that has been based on or included Dracula in some form or another, but I believe you attributed a large portion or even the novel's success to the character of Dracula. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but can you talk about that?"
Yeah, I that's all absolutely correct. And not only that, we see these kind of characters cropping up over and over again in popular narratives. I mean, Dracula, I think, was one of the first and most successful versions of it. But when you look at characters like Hannibal Lecter and Tony Soprano and Walter White, those are very contemporary versions, but I would say Grendel as well. People love these unrepentant villains because it's a fugue state that people want to look at and see displayed in a way that makes them think, thank fucking God I don't have to exist with that in my real life, and I think we're doing that with Dracula as well, right, Cal?
Yeah, Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's at least for me, uh it's nice to be involved with something that attracts and repels at the same time, you know? That you don't want to be near, anywhere near this, but you're riveted watching it. I
Yep.
mean, uh if there's a thing Matt did that I really liked was he would seduce me in the script with I'm beginning to get on his side, and then he does something.
Yeah, yeah.
And very rarely, never. I think there's only 2 times I have vocally made a sound like a ah when I read something. One was The Valley of Fear by Conan Doyle, where there's a great reveal at the end of it. I will not ruin it for anyone. It's a great Holmes novel, actually. Valley of Fear is a novel. But there's a reveal in it where I went, oh man, and that never comes. You know, when you read something, that shouldn't happen. The second time was when I read Matt's first script and Poor Constantine. And I went, and I remember reading that because I was really going, oh, I like this. This is really cool. You know, here's this guy and it's a great foil, and then Matt does what he does and the way he does it, and I made this exclamation. And at that moment, I could not trust Dracula anymore.
You shouldn't trust him at
No.
all, ever.
Well,
he's a fucking asshole.
He is, and Matt did this thing, and at that point, you just didn't trust him. You just did not know what was going to happen, and that's
you know, again, I keep coming back to that analogy of Hannibal Lecter, because Hannibal Lecter's so charming.
Yes.
You kind of love him, even though you know he should never get out of that cage. And yet at the same time, you're like, when's he getting out of that cage?
Yeah. I always think of, and that's a good way to put it, because with Dracula, there's so many things that and certainly in the Count, so I can't talk about it, but there's things that go on that made me think, like with Lecter, even his non-victims, how they're affected. I mean, if I went to Matt's house and we have a great meal, and then about 3 months later, Matt's arrested for killing and serving people at dinner, that's going to affect me for the rest of my life after I've complimented Matt on.
Yeah.
And that's
that
what
would
Dracula,
never go away. Yep.
Yeah, and that's what Dracula does. I know that he's cutting this swath, even to the people he's not directly abusing and using and eating, that are going to be affected forever. And that's a neat trick, because that doesn't really happen in my other Dracula movies or fiction. But it does here.
Yeah, that's a good point, Kel. Is that I will say the most Dracula fiction, and there's a ton of it.
Yeah.
Specifically, cinematically, it's very limited.
Yeah.
It's very small. It's a small realm. It's like, oh, I'm preying on this woman and this dude,
no,
and
and you did it quite well. And you know what I'm talking about in the Count. You have several instances where I go
of that, but it's much. His aims are much more vast. Yeah,
I had not seen that before.
Yep.
And you were showing the kind of the devastation around that would happen, and I found that absolutely enchanting. Yeah.
All right, cool. Now I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this question from Ben Granoff, my co-host on The Devil in Detail, the Grendel Reread
Ben,
podcast.
we love you, buddy.
Well, he's asking because I feel like, Grendel is to us as Dracula is to you, seemingly your favorite character of, the book world
Of
novels.
dubious intent.
Yes, exactly. Did your love of that inform the creation of Grendel? Was there early text pieces where like Dracula mirrors Hunter Rose's sentiments? Do you feel that there was ever things that you borrowed directly from this type of character for Hunter, or for any of the characters?
Sure. I would say Hunter's a combination of Dracula and Batman and Zorro and and where would I place? Where would I place Stacy and all that? I'm not quite sure, but there's a source. It's escaping me right now, but I don't know. All this stuff, you know. I mean, I am just, and Kelley is too. We are just these. We are just these absolute consumers of this kind of narrative. You know, we just suck this shit in. You know, we just. I don't want to say we eat it and shit it out, because we don't shit it out. We just we just get bigger by it. You know, we just, all of this stuff. We just love it so much, and we just take it in.
Well, I've
and
never gotten tired of it. See, that's
no, I've never gotten tired of it either. Yeah, me neither. Yeah, perfect.
And like you
perfect
said,
description, Cal.
I don't go back to old stuff and go, well, now I've grown past it. No,
no. Yeah.
Hey, can I clarify my question, Matt?
Yeah, there you go, Matt.
Is that when I was reading Dracula, when I was reading the first volume, I felt like especially when he's talking about how much he loves being evil, dominating his environment, etc. It just like sounded like such an echo to Hunter, and I wonder
Of Hunter,
like,
yeah. Again, the unrepentant villain. Where did I get that? You know, I give a lot of credit to Michael Moorcock's Elric.
Yeah.
Even though Elric's full of a lot of more of remorse and angst, but I don't know. Somewhere I got this thing about, you know, what if the villain has no redemption cycle, has no redemption story, doesn't give a shit whether he's redeemed, you know?
Well, he doesn't think he needs to be redeemed.
Yeah, right. He doesn't think he needs to be redeemed.
He has no desire for. I mean, he wouldn't understand it. If anything, you guys are all wrong and recognize me. And his ego is what it is. And I mean, anybody, and it must be beyond just it's his birthright. He attracts to him those that gleefully will impale for him.
Yeah.
You know, gleeful. They will serve this because he's what they want. You know, that's what they want. I think Matt did it brilliantly with the brides. They want him a certain way. They will demand he be a certain way. And it's that awful way.
Yeah, each one of the brides, you know, loses a very particular part of their humanity, which is what drew him to them in the first place. And yet he's still left with this, like, well, that's kind of the run of the litter now. And, you know, but I still love her. her.
Yeah.
She's not quite as good as when she was still alive, but I still love her.
Well, that's the great curse of Satan on him. You can have all this, but it's going to be limited. You can have whoever you want, but they're not going to be what. Yeah, it's a great diminishment. And I love that Matt does that, because overall evil is a diminishment. It isn't like he can just run wild. He's got limits to him. He can only go so far. He can only do so much. But within those confines, he's almost all powerful.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you guys so much. All right, here's a piece from Charlie. This is a bit long. I don't think the quality of the novel can be attributed mostly to the character of Dracula. Or maybe he's responding to Kirk. It was the human characters that drew me to appreciate the novel as much as I did. Seeing the way these characters with human limitations learn about the existence of vampires and each process that information in their own way was probably my favorite part of the novel.
Yes, I think it's great. I think it works. Yes.
When they resolve to hunt Dracula, they were so brave in the face of such a terrifying adversary. The novel presents such a complete description of positive and negative masculinity and femininity. I don't think I know of any novels that come close. It's a very uplifting and aspirational story, and that's what's really endeared it to me. I say all this because I'm curious to hear your take on that subject. Would you say the broad appeal of the novel comes down more to the character of Dracula or the other aspects of the novel, and why? One more thing, I ask these questions in good faith out of curiosity. I'm not trying to criticize your project or create any kind of conflict.
No, we don't assume that. Yeah, I think it's a subtle combination of the two. I think it's a fascination with something beyond humanity and something malevolent beyond humanity. Because of course, as much as we love our human experience, stuff comes to us that disrupts that. You know, cancer, violence, uh, a million things that disrupt that. And of course, in a supernatural term, a vampire is a metaphor for that. Um, I totally agree with you that the way the novel works is in its adherence to its human voice. But after 125 years, we want to tell the not human voice. We want to do Famous Monsters of Filmland. We want to do the here's the vampires version.
Yeah, and I think with Stoker, it was that the angle of Dracula was no one would believe in him.
Yeah,
no one would believe in this anymore, and that
yeah,
was,
and we make point of that in book 3 too. That once
no one would believe in it, but
right,
by its
that's why he
token,
likes London. Nobody's gonna
does.
believe in him.
But with Stoker, I also think he was using that as a very subversive way of saying, because you don't believe in him, you also don't believe in God. People just, they're living their lives. Everything's about money. Everything's about position. So they've lessened
commerce.
God as well.
Again, in book 3, we make a lot of points about rationality and commerce are what is the true gods of the West.
Yeah. So Stoker has his Van Helsing, because it is his. There's so many different takes on him. Is a proponent of both exist. It's just you guys have all let it go for your own personal. It's again a fall of man, but that was Stoker's subversiveness, was that the disbelief in a vampire was also mirrored by, for most society, the lessening of God in their lives, and that was pretty but Stoker was that seemed in keeping with him, you know.
And again, the thing who's our questioner's name? Is it Ben?
No, this is Charlie.
Charlie. So Charlie, again, I think you're absolutely right that that's what works about the novel.
Yeah.
It really does. It's the reason that both Kelley and I have been interested in the novel this long. You know.
Yeah.
Why we're trying something different is why not? You know, there's no reason to just duplicate what the novel did. We're trying to approach it from a different point of view. But yes, the intimacy that the novel creates, and I think that is what's crucial to the novel, is an intimacy. Via its epistolary style, you know, the fact that it's told in the form of letters and journals and such, that's very, very crucial to why that story has lasted that long. We're going to subvert a whole lot of that shit going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as Matt so wonderfully did, he reminded everyone when we started, there's nothing romantic about this guy. He could give two shits about
anybody.
Nina,
You could do
Lucy,
two shits about anybody.
Any of the women in Stoker's novel, he doesn't care.
Yep.
There's something to feed so he can continue.
All right, a couple quick little things here. Kirk F again adds, and this is a small question about the Kickstarter. I'm asking my question for the current Kickstarter option that includes the original art piece from Matt and Kelley. Is there any chance we will see all 10 of the original art pieces prior to the campaign ending?
Nope.
No. Yeah, it's a secret. Yeah.
No, those have yet to be done. Very, very, very frankly, we did one piece as an example. Kelley has to complete all the artwork and there's a bit yet to go for the book 3.
I have several of them sketched out. Yeah.
Then we will do all of those, but they're all gonna look very similar to that, and they're all gonna be fucking awesome. Sorry, man.
All right, we got Big J here. I'm going to be driving in a storm, so I'm listening. Jay, be careful.
Yes, indeed, Jay. Love you, man.
First, a comment. I was given a Grendel comic for Christmas from a friend, rest in peace, and I originally came upon Kelley through a chat with Graham Nolan. This is my first experience with his art. This was the first comic that truly sent chills through me. So thank you for the visceral response to an awesome graphic novel.
Well, I can't say anything other than that's one of the nicest things ever said to me. I truly appreciate that.
I agree. Still drive carefully.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Mark Wagner would like to say, I just would like to gush for a minute. Matt, I've followed your work as best as I could since he accidentally bought Hero Discovered number 15 as a 7th grader. Always loved your storytelling, and I'm thrilled to have discovered this story. Kelley, I've loved your art since Dead Man. Again, this looks wonderful, and I'm excited to do some reading. Thanks for this conversation.
I like accidentally buying something. That's cool, Matt. I accidentally bought.
Those days, to my mind, do those days exist anymore? It seems weird.
Yeah.
Other than return it to Amazon,
Yeah, I like that accidentally buying things.
And Gustavo had one more question. He was full of great questions. So here we go. Question from Matt, from one writer to another. What is most important for writing a villainous protagonist? One redeeming / relatable quality, or a goal which may be lesser evil?
Well, that's up for you to decide, man. Those are both two completely different kinds of villains. One is like I relate to it, and one is like I'll never relate to it. To put it in Marvel terms, is it Doctor Doom or is it Galactus?
Yeah.
Doctor Doom, you get what Doctor Doom's all about, but Galactus is this cosmic entity that just consumes, and just again, those are two different realms.
All right, cool. So we have 2 more questions coming up out of.
Somebody just popped up here. Anne?
Yep, Anne and Alex. Let's go to Anne first here. I feel like I saw her first. So welcome, Anne.
Hi. I think Alex was first, but excuse me. No,
sorry, Alex.
that's right. I just want to say, these are beautiful books.
Thank you.
Like the writing is incredible. They feel like something, like when you find something really excellent and really old that you've never seen. Like they have that like hidden treasure vibe to them.
You couldn't make us feel any better with that description.
Yeah, and the horror too, that I mean obviously it's horror, it's Dracula, but it feels old and forbidden. Like you saw this as a small child and you don't want your mom to see. But just beautiful throughout.
Well, that's very kind. Like a fairy tale, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's fairy tale, but
dark
not
one.
one of the fluffy ones.
And for both Kelley and I, at the age we are and the world we were in comics, when we were 12, 13, 14, up on you had the comics rack, the spinner rack with DC and Batman and Superman, all this.
Matt, your audio's out or something.
Yep, it's
Okay,
I just clicked it. Sorry. Up on the magazine rack was creepy and eerie and Vampirella and heavy metal and all these kind of horror magazine style things that had such an effect on us that we just have never been able to let go of.
No. I remember, and that's a good point, because I remember coming across those at that time, and it was almost like forbidden or taboo, those books, and they stayed with me. And so it's nice because Matt had mentioned those books when we first started and saying he wanted that feel.
This is the vibe we're going for. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my question was, now that you've done 2 books, looking for, making the next ones, maybe more after that. I guess that means you're not going to kill them. But is there anything that you're looking back on the previous books and you're like, maybe now that I'm doing it here, it should have changed backwards? Or if you're like, nah, man, it's all on the table, it's all good.
No, it's all on the table.
Okay.
Again, Kelley was talking about this a little bit earlier. And one of the other questions was, how occasionally you're working on things and it shows up in its printed form, and you're like, kind of like, you have a little bit of cringe regret about certain things, and Kel was just like, I just don't have it with this. It's just, we're just hitting every note that we wanted to hit.
Well, and again, it's the chance to experiment in ways. For me, Matt wrote this from a very original place, and he didn't want to draw upon any other sources. It was just how the novel hit him and what he wanted to see. And so it wasn't trying to do a film that we were echoing, and there's none of that. And that's why, like I said, for me it was, all of the brides came from real women that I know. And they became alive the way Matt was because Matt wrote the women so extremely well, but they were all very different, and they all had their desires and their dreams, and Dracula's attracted to that and crushes it. I mean, not meaning to, but he does. And
because he's contagion.
Yes. And so when I read the script, Matt had told me, he says, well, he didn't tell me to do it, but he had said, I'm designing them out of whole cloth. And when you get the chance then to start like that, to do something like that, I felt I had to keep up with it. And so luckily, as I read them, I knew all these women. I mean, in my real life, I knew them.
Lucky that.
Lucky. So I ask, would you like, I let them read what Matt had written. I said, is that okay if I use you as the model for this? If you guys, and beyond just physically, I mean, how they move, how they act, what they do. I wanted that because that sense of realism, and I'm not big on realism, but that kind of thing did work. And Matt had so designed Dracula as this living thing, this real person, not just a stereotypical thing, a real person. It had to match that. And that's exciting to work on, because I think that translated down through my reaction on paper to it being printed. Because as soon as I tore open that box, and I was very curious to see how that would, in a physical form, work, Matt was right. It just works. Doing it that way made the character more interesting. And I think you make a good point. It felt old and taboo and something that you found in the attic somewhere, and you're hearing. It was wonderful.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts of the approach to the brides was he wants all three of them, and they're three very different women, and he wants all three of them for very different reasons. And yet, once he attains them as his consorts, his contagion destroys the part of them that he really liked the best. I mean, it makes
it's
them
almost, if you could, you almost feel sorry for him, even though he did a horrible thing to him.
Yeah,
Thing that he wanted.
Right.
Away.
In fact, the last one, Titania, who in my mind is the most tragic of the
she
three,
is.
Because she becomes basically a junkie, a blood junkie. But one thing we never really describe, although we show, is that after he turns her, she starts wearing a veil over the lower part of her face, because unlike a lot of contemporary film versions, these vampires can't extend and retract their fangs. Their fangs are there. That's it. That's one of the reasons in the novel you get the feeling that's one of the reasons that Dracula wears this long mustache, is to disguise his fangs, and she can't do that, and so she wears this she wears this veil over the lower half of her face for the rest of that narrative.
And the fact that she felt there was some humanity in him, and even when she finally gives herself up to him, and that she felt there was something there, maybe it would connect, and that was tragic. When reading
again,
it,
there's always hope,
yeah,
there's always
I read
hope,
that.
and Dracula just destroys it.
Well, it broke my heart because, like I said, I know that girl I based it on. There is a Tatiana out there, and she would. And when I read that, I went, "That's her. I know that girl." And I said, "You would be that." She goes, "Oh yeah, I'd be it. I would hope that there would be something still there, even though he's monstrous, and maybe I could reach that." And she doesn't. But that was heartbreaking, and to put that in there adds to Dracula's character, certainly, but it's one of those great moments, and in a book, certainly in a comic, you live for those great little moments. Matt gave me so many great little moments where you just stop, and where it's real proof is a year from now if you reread it, or 2 years from now and you reread it, it grows. It's not just you're enjoying that song again. It means something more. It's different. Your own life experience begins to be.
That's the best. That's the best we could hope for.
Yeah, and that's how I felt when I read The Girls. Each one of these women, I knew them, and it was and when he got to the last one, it was heartbreaking, and so, you know, and so each time Matt showed them, they're doing
one thing. I'll point out here. One thing Kelley added was visually was. So the last one, Tatiana, he has to work extra hard to get her. She's a little bit more familiar with the supernatural or unworldly realities, and so he has to work a little harder. And then once he gets her, there's a frame, a panel in the book where he's leaning over her, and I realize, oh shit, he's bitten her like 7 different places. Like, like he's waited this long. He's like not just gonna like take his time. He's like,
part of it was yeah.
He's feeding like a frenzied feast, you know.
Well, it was several months. I looked at it like it looked like almost a year had passed. But I also felt that there had to have been that to me too was that humanity she felt might still be there. That's her misinterpretation. Was it was lust. It wasn't love. It was this infatuation of his lust, and that's what she misread. And so it was just, and again, that's the fun of working with somebody is you get something out of that. But if you're gonna do something called The Bride, Matt did the right thing. You spend time on them. It's not his focus; it's their focus too. It was brilliant.
Hey, thanks for showing up.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Cool questions.
Good question. Yeah,
Love
very
it.
good questions. Very good.
All right, and we are going to end. Oh, Guy, you came in right at the end there. Okay, so we're going to have Alex and Guy, and then we're going to be no. Come on back, Guy. Oh, Alex is out. Okay, sorry. All right, go ahead, Guy. Guy Dorian Sr. Welcome. Unmute yourself. Okay, you got video.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, good seeing you, Guy.
How you doing, man?
Good.
I was just taking a day off. I get 2 days off in a year, so
Hey, 2.
yeah. My wife forced this one on me. Yesterday I did a Scooby drawing thing on a Scooby Doo thing, so just to do something different, and it was awesome. So, but I had a question for you guys. I saw you were on, so I was like, hey, let me jump on there.
We're here, man.
How you doing, Matt? I wanted to ask you guys, because every time I work on a project, I've been doing this 36 years, and every time I work on a project, I grow in some way. Something happens that makes me grow.
Yes.
So you guys know that. And so, by the way, look fantastic. It's all amazing. I wanted to see how each of you feel you have grown from this experience, both as partners and with your work?
Fucking great question.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Cal, go ahead. You start.
For me, realizing that I can let go of something and just trust. I just trust Matt. I can let go of all my worries. I don't go into it saying I gotta fix something. I gotta watch out, or what I want. I don't. I come into these now purely and wholly as the artist. I don't want any of that other stuff.
As the amazing artist.
Yeah, anything I want to do, I put in my drawings, right? Those elements of it, and that part of it has been terrific. And the other part is it's not so much growth, but remembering how truly great it is to be free to do whatever strikes me. To just let that. I'm a big idea guy first. Ideas come first over everything else in whatever I do, but beyond how I render or how I do whatever. It's ideas, and Matt gives me a very fertile plane to just let that happen. And
Well,
so again, it is trust. It's trust myself with those ideas. It's trust Matt's going to do his thing and just go from there.
Well, you and Graham both said, hey, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do any of this kind of stuff outside of the normal, and you and Graham both were like, do it, bro, do it, bro, do it, bro. So thanks, because yeah, it's cool. I enjoy it. I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad you listened.
Yeah.
know?
It took a long time. Nobody else could get me to listen.
Yeah.
But that definitely worked. But
it isn't like there's one pie out there. We make more pies.
Yeah.
Matt, what's your answer there, buddy?
Well, there's just I continually I've worked with a ton of different artists over the years,
right,
and I've had a zillion different very rewarding collaborations, and yet there's just something special about how I work with Kelley. I mean, I keep, and this is gonna sound self-aggrandizing as shit, but I don't know. Fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
I feel like we are striking a note here that is right up there with kind of those great comic book collaborations, and we all know who we talk about when we talk about that. I mean, Lee and Kirby dates way back. Simon and Kirby back before that. But I don't know. Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams and
Aaron and Austin.
Byrne and Austin. No, not Byrne and Austin, but Byrne and Claremont. Claremont and Byrne. But that writer artist collaborative where all of a sudden you can't tell who's who. It is just a golden creation, to where it's like, well, what am I writing and what is he drawing? That shit doesn't really matter. We are producing this golden narrative again that is just like, that's it. I don't even want to say what I wrote and he drew. It's just like, there it is. There it is. We have got this,
I say the same thing. I don't say where, I just say there it is.
Yep.
I do the exact same thing, Matt. I never say what you wrote and what I drew. It's just there it is. Yeah.
Yep.
That's interesting.
I love that answer, man, because that's when you really have a collaboration, like a true collaboration. Because there's not a feeling like that. For others out there who have never done a book or anything like that, there's something that happens sometimes, if I may, where when you're working with someone, sometimes it takes a little bit, right? And then you find each other, but certain people can find each other right away. This is like just a synergy that happens.
Yes,
And,
yes.
And exactly what Matt just said, there's this synergy that comes about, and it could be at the beginning of your career, it could be at the end of your career, it could be somewhere, anywhere, and it doesn't even matter. But when the two worlds collide sometimes.
Well, what I did was I chucked my ego. My ego when I was younger, you have to have it or you can't get on stage.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
I chucked my ego, and I have enough of it to be brave enough to sit down and show people my work. That's that's all I need. The rest, in no way is there going to ever interfere with my work with Matt, because the results now are what I want to be egotistical about, not how I get there.
Well,
yeah, and it's crazy how there's literally no ego in what we
but a hell of a lot of respect, because I've watched Matt's career, and Matt is self-made in the truest sense, and I've seen he didn't have to piggyback on a famous character or a company or something. He made himself. So at that point, I gotta trust that he knows something, to get there. And to be able to do that, not too many guys can. He didn't need Bruce Wayne. He made his own.
Yeah, because
I did my Bruce Waynes.
Yeah, well, after they brought you in, yes.
Well,
Wow.
I'll just say this. I don't want to take up too much time, but I'll just say this. Like, I love horror. I'm a big horror guy, as Kelley knows. I was great. Kelley's been graceful enough to do covers on 2 series that I worked on so far, and I was very kind of him, and I absolutely.
No, I was glad to do that werewolf one. Came out. I love doing that one.
Oh yeah, I got wait. See, I'm going to show you some more stuff that we're doing. But I just wanted to say that I don't have time to read comics. I'm working on comics, but I gotta say I didn't get to read all of it yet or anything like that. But I started reading some of it, and man, I gotta say, Matt, I mean, Kelley, it goes without saying, I freaking love Kelley's work. I get so much out of looking at it. Just every piece gives me something to think about. So
of course,
the compositions are just nuts. The weight distribution on the page between positive and negative space and light and dark is just beautiful. It's just
he's a fucking maestro, dude.
Yeah, and everything is moving. Everything is moving. Everything is organic and alive. It's never. It's just amazing. But Matt, I don't particularly care for comic writing as a guy who's been in the industry for 35 years. But I gotta say, what I've read so far was just such a freaking joy to get real understanding coming out of these. Everybody has their own voice. A key thing, if everyone out there who's writing, every character must have their own voice distinctly, and Matt does that brilliantly. And I just wanted to say that it was just such a joy to see a writer who understands that character is story, and that each character has a voice, and they're put within these stories, and whatever the situation occurs, we know. Matt knows.
No way is speaking isn't human.
Right, exactly. I love it. Anyway, I don't want to take any more time.
Anyway,
but
thanks, Guy. Good to hear from you, man.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Nice. See you, Kelley.
Good to see you.
Eli, who else we got here?
All right, thanks so much, Guy. I think that's all we got right now. Unless anyone else has any other questions.
Hey, this was absolutely wonderful. Terrific. Thanks everybody for showing up.
Yes.
I think Kelley and I both enjoyed the shit out of this because it was so direct connection to our patrons and our readers, and oh my god, couldn't love it more.
Yeah. This we will do again. Yeah.
A lot of fun. Thank you so much, guys. There is like a couple hours left on the Kickstarter?
Till tomorrow night at 11. Is that it?
I think that's about right. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I feel like everyone who's here has already backed it. So that's not a thing, but tell your friends, share it. Yeah, there's 24 hours to go. So yeah, Huge.
I haven't checked it for a while, but I know it's doing very well. And again, grateful to everyone involved. You're making it happen. You know, it's that kind of thing where working with Matt has been such a pleasure, but it's also nice to have this direct connection to the people reading it and
Indeed. I
supporting
also want to give a huge shout out to Eli Schwab, Cosmic Lion Productions, who's a publisher in his own right and produces a lot of terrific comics on his own dime and his own scene. And Eli, buddy,
Thank
we
you,
love you
Matt.
so much.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun.
Thank you so much for being here with us, pal. As
Absolutely.
always.
Yes. Until next time, vivat Dracula and keep on Draculan. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your night.